What's up, Squid Bois? Today, I want to talk about the stock market. Now, the stock market recently got an update where if you were to buy or sell, there's a 10% transaction fee. So here's the release notes. So if it's bought or sold, this fee will constitute 10% of the transaction value. In money, so you're not losing 10% of your resources, you're losing 10% of the money, the currency, regardless of being bought or sold. That's the topic I want to talk about, along with general market playability. Now, this was to nerf what I'm going to teach you. And the stock market is an actual vital part of the game. When you fight with more experienced players, you will notice less fluctuations in the stock market. Now, they've also down here established that they have created the AI to start selling or buying resources in larger quantity. Now, this is just optimizing the game, and it's good that they're thinking about these things because it kind of was broken. I mean, 10% is pretty hard. I would have such a huge early game setup before they fix this. Now, let me show you how to do it, how to operate the stock market, and how to utilize it effectively. So the first part is, what's the stock market? Well, we have buttons on the left here. We're going to deal with this button right here. I'm going to click it like so, and we're in the stock. Now there's 3 tabs in this user interface. There's top offers, all offers, and my trades. Now I'm not going to deal with top offers yet. I'm actually going to go to all offers. And all offers shows you all the offers currently listed. Now you can see that there's lines through here. And if I hovered over, it's actually going to say what I was going to explain. It says trade embargo. Now embargoes have been put on me and someone else. I don't know exactly who because I'm embargoing a lot of people. Let's actually see who's embargoing me. No one's embargoing me. That means it has to be North Chad. So that's what North Chad is doing, because when you're at war, you also are embargoing someone. So that can also be given an explanation. So if you watch my diplomacy class, you can see that there's a trade embargo. You can't see the trade action if you're embargoing. Now, this tab, this is the only time you actually need to be in the all offers tab. And the reason is top offers, the one you start on when you click the button, is really the only thing you need to look at. And that's because top offers shows you the best offer at the best prices. Now we're at top offers. We could see I'm at energy because there's a tab within tabs, right? Doesn't that get complicated? So you can see it's divided by food, materials, and energy. They have a symbiotic relationship within the category that they're placed in. Let's actually go to each one and talk about their strengths and weaknesses. Generally speaking, fish should be the cheapest, but right now on this map, I'm playing the Middle East map. Fish is more scarce for a lot of countries because they are not connected to the water. Right now, the AI is buying fish because they're not moving the resource bar properly. But generally, grain is the more dominant one because it's the more one associated with upkeep. You have infantry that require grain. Cavalry are the only thing that require fish as an upkeep. Barracks require grain. So grain's a more dominant resource. It's important to know what's the dominant resource in each category. Let's go to the materials now. So steel produces factories and every tank and everything you really enjoy and love. Railroads, this is how you industrialize properly, is with steel. That's why you can see the price for steel is 15.2, and we're at day 10. So at day 8, you can build a factory. This is the dominant resource, where the inverse is lumber. Now, lumber is 10.2 right now. I actually prefer to buy lumber, but we'll get into buying after we go over the dominant resources. Energy. Oil is your best friend. Now, coal is dirt cheap, and I never understand why, but it usually goes oil, gas, then coal. And you can see it in the price here. Coal, the cheapest oil I can buy here, is 9.6, followed by gas at 6.3, and coal at 4.4. Now that we know what's the dominant ones, we need to understand how we can game the market. So they're selling, and that's you actually selling resources at these prices. I'm personally not a big seller unless I want to buy. We mentioned that fish is usually cheap, so I've been actually selling fish in this match. And this is such a great price. I'm actually going to just sell it right here. So if I do this, I'm giving, with a 10% fee, this amount of fish. I'm giving it away, but I'm taking the 10%. I don't need any of this fish, actually. Well, I'm stopping because I bought at double digits, and now we're at single digits. I'm going to wait. So that's something you can check in during a game. What's the prices? What do I want to buy? Now, what I like to buy is I like to sell high and buy low. So I normally don't sell unless I see a great price. This is what I consider to be a great price. Now, what I love to buy, and I'm an outlier on this, is wood. I actually love to buy wood. And the reason is it's cheaper than steel, and I can move the resource bar. I'm going to resources here, and right here is the resource bar. Now I told you there's food, materials, and energy. You got to keep that in mind, that these are interchangeable. There's a symbiotic relationship, and they're interchangeable right here, because on this top bar here, daily consumption, all my provinces, the people in these provinces consume 2,400 resources, and they consume 800 of each resource type, and each province consumes 800. This daily consumption is changing what of this 800 is going to what. Now, for example, I have oil on the bottom here. Oil is not consuming any oil. So out of this 800 resources, if I were to move this slider to 50-50, like so, we could say if I only owned one province, I'm spending 400 in coal and 400 in gas and 0 in oil. Now, why did I do that? You notice I already had it at 0% when I started. Now, the reason is that I'm industrializing. Oil is used for important things that are beyond this class. It's for building factories and fancy units. But I'm not trying to have any oil that I'm making being consumed right now, because I'm going to the stock market, and since I've sold all that fish, I'm buying this cheap coal. Look how cheap this coal is. I can get 2 coal for the price of 1 oil. That's a great deal. Why would you ever buy oil when you can move the resource bar and buy coal? Look, I'm buying coal. I like to buy, ideally sell at double digits, buy at single digits, and always buy if it's under 4 gold. So I buy this coal and I go to the resource tab, and you could see, ideally I would have it like this, where I'm trying to maximize the dominant resource. Now, you never want to go bankrupt, and you go bankrupt by having 0 resources and it's negative. So over time, this can be a hack to buy the cheaper resource and move the bar. If I bought a lot of wood, I could consume a lot of wood here. Same for fish, same for grains. So in a highly competitive game where you have a lot of smart players, the resources in the early game will be very close to each other. And I'm not seeing that right now. They seem very far apart, because there's only a minimum amount of players gaming the stock market. And that's what gaming the stock market is. It's buying the resource no one cares about and then using the resource bar to mess with your daily consumption. Now let me show you daily consumption. We're going to a province, we're at Bor. I'm going to click this icon right here, and you can see at Bor, I have a daily consumption. Now, if you were to add up all these resources, again, it would be 800 food, 800 materials, and 800 energy. And that is consumed regardless of the morale of your province. But the morale of your province dictates how much resources you produce. So if there's consumption of 800 resources, of 3 types of resources, 8 times 3 is 2,400. I'm only making 321 resources in this province, which is like not a lot. Now here in Gulu, we have 2,242 resources. Now I'm actually losing more resources than I'm gaining because I'm consuming 2,400 resources at Gulu. Now this would explain my ally, West Egypt. If you look at him, you could see all his morale and all his resources at the single resources is hurting real bad. You could see his overall morale is 39%. He's pretty much killed himself because he's not manipulating the stock market and building correctly. And he's not fighting anyone. He just doesn't understand this game. That's why I'm making these videos. Lastly, for the stock market, there's a UI tab that I did not bring up, and that's my trades. So you don't need to look at all offers. That's just for information only. Just focus on top offers. And if you make a trade, you go to my trade. I'm looking at the stock market and I'm noticing at the sell orders, it's like, okay, I really want lumber, but I don't want to buy it at this price. So I'm willing to buy it at this sell price. Now, this is only dependent if someone else will buy your orders. So let's make a lumber order. So I want to beat this person. These are all individuals or an AI. So someone is getting rid of their lumber at 6.3. Someone beat them by 6.4. Let's be a genius and do 6.5. Now, let's add a buy off, which I know it's confusing. It's not going to end up here. It's going to be down here. So I want to buy lumber, 6.5. Now, how much? It doesn't actually matter how much. It's dependent only on how much money you have currently. So it's dependent on how much you want to actually use. Your money will temporarily disappear with this offer. You hit the buy offer, boom, there you go. You see it. If I want to get rid of it, I cancel it. If days progress and I don't remember what I did and why I don't have all that money, I go to my trades. Look, I've already made one. I made this offer. You could see someone bought it though. Look at that. I don't know who bought it and I don't know when, but it had to have been somewhat recently, which is great. If I want to get rid of it, I just cancel it. I can also cancel it in this window right here with the cancel button. Now you could also do sell offers. This is if you want to sell your resources at a premium. And again, just like adding the buy offer, it's going to show up here. And these are all dependent on a human or a robot collecting these offers. So you're not always going to be able to use it when you add and buy. But it's important to be adding and buying when you see a deal. Now in the early game, most offers are going to look like this right here. You can see it's at 1.1. This is a steal. I should add a buy offer and do 1.2. Now, you want to make sure you're on the top or you're close to the top if it's a really hot market, or there's no point of doing it. Now, I usually just buy and sell because there's enough AIs that this doesn't matter. But I'm looking for deals daily. I'm not spending a lot of time on it, but this is something I do every day. What do I need? What do I have? I always want to be buying materials in the early game because the quicker I can industrialize, the more, oh my gosh, how did it get so big happens. Now, that is a separate video, and I'll leave the stock market to that. I'll talk to you Squid Boys later.